If someone offers you $1 billion reward for free, but you have to kneel on a hot iron plate, pressing your forehead onto it for at least 10 seconds, would you take the risk? At first, after Tonegawa lost to Kaiji, all he had to do was kneel and apologize. However, to his surprise, the boss ordered one of his subordinates to bring in an iron plate. The boss believed that kneeling on the hot plate would show more sincerity. Tonegawa's forehead had to touch the iron plate for at least 10 seconds, in addition to both his hands and feet being pressed on it. The 10 seconds began the moment his forehead made contact with the plate. If he didn't keep it there for the full 10 seconds, he had to start over and keep going until he hit the 10-second mark. In the boss's cruel eyes, only pain would prove sincerity. Only someone who could endure such pain could truly say they were sincere. But there was an exception to this rule. If Tonegawa was unwilling or too afraid to hurt himself, the boss had his own special way of handling it. The boss simply ordered his bodyguards to bring in a forced kneeling machine. Any gambler who refused to kneel willingly would be strapped to this machine and forced to apologize. The more obedient ones would only have their foreheads burned, but those who resisted too much might have their entire face scorched. Kaiji, overhearing this, was stunned and unable to speak. He never imagined the boss could be this cruel. With that, the boss issued the order, and Tonegawa's punishment was about to begin. The two bodyguards were initially going to grab Tonegawa, but he refused. After all, Tonegawa was the second in command of the organization and had his own pride and dignity. This excited the boss, as no one had yet voluntarily accepted the punishment and endured the full 10 seconds. He was eagerly anticipating Tonegawa's performance.
どけろその機械をどけろ
Tonegawa didn't disappoint. He gritted his teeth and slowly approached the hot plate. The sizzling sound of the meat on the grill was terrifying. However, if he didn't accept the punishment, the organization would seize all his assets. To everyone's shock, Tonegawa actually kneeled. The smell of burning flesh filled the room, accompanied by agonized screams. 10 seconds felt like an eternity. Kaiji, watching the horrifying scene, couldn't hold back his tears. This wasn't how he had imagined things would go. Tonegawa endured for 12 seconds on the plate, but soon lost consciousness. The bodyguards carried him out of the casino while the boss smiled with excitement. Kaiji realized that Tonegawa had merely been a tool for the boss. The real devil was this ruthless boss. Only by defeating him could Kaiji truly avenge his fallen comrades. However, Kaiji's companions began urging him to stop. Kaiji had already been incredibly lucky to win earlier, but continuing the game was risky, and they had already won 20 million. That was more than enough to pay off the gambling debts. There was no need to keep risking it. After a lot of persuasion from his companions, Kaiji eventually let go of the idea of continuing. But just as they were about to leave, Kaiji accidentally stepped on a cardboard box on the floor. Suddenly, a bold idea struck him.
よぎる開示に何か会長を倒しうる何かが